Anyway, my main purpose is something else. Bruce Lee was known for martial arts. He was very fast. He had a good physique, but not a bulky body. He wasn't very tall or big, but he had a good muscular body. He was very fast. Normally, when you do martial arts, always you close the fist and you hit. Bruce Lee used to keep his fists open. He was so fast and so accurate and so swift that he used to break the basic principles of martial arts and was effective. He was very fast. So if you reach a very high level, you break many principles and yet effective and can get results. But if you start doing that, you start doing it open fist and give a jab. But now you have to be trained, everything is trained. I will also be like Bruce Lee. You try to become deadly, and then you have a problem. Whenever you reach a level, after you reach a level, then these things carry less weight. It does carry weight, but lesser and lesser. And your other things overpower. Your gestures, your public speaking skills are so overpowering that whether the chain goes up or down doesn't make a difference. The marks become less and less. But for a student, you start from basics. From nursery, standard 1, standard 2, standard 3. Don't jump to direct medical college. Is it clear? Okay, inshallah. Last question before we go on to the posture. Yes, Brother Sabu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My question is about keeping the trouser above the ankle. I want to clarify something or know about one hadith that said that among the Sahabas of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I cannot remember the name actually, either Abu Bakr or Umar alayhi wasallam. One of them wore his trouser below the ankle. So he asked the Prophet, what is my own position for that? The Prophet said, if it is not pride, you are not in the hellfire. So I want to know the authenticity of the hadith. Assalamu alaikum.
Brother, what you are saying, there is no such hadith that a Sahaba asked the Prophet that my trousers below the ankle, what is my position? And the Prophet said, if it's not pride, no. There is no such hadith. What you're quoting, I'll tell you, they're somewhat similar, but a world of a difference. There is a hadith where Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, may Allah be pleased with him, he had a paunch. So his trousers always used to fall down. And even I have started getting a paunch now. So he used to always keep on top. He used to go down, he used to keep on top. So Prophet saw it. And he said, Ya Abu Bakr, for you, it is okay. Because I know that you have no pride. Not the opposite. The Prophet gave special permission and the Prophet has a right to give that permission. And this is the only hadith which actually deters many people from believing it is a fard. But the logical argument I give, there are various other hadith, including the one I quoted. Ibn Abbas, when his trousers were below the ankle, the Prophet said, put it on top, he put it on top. More on top, more on top, more on top. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself had his trousers above the ankle. So if it was so simple, even if it doesn't come hypothetically agreeing, it is not haram. It is surely a sunnah. And sunnat-e muqadah, a high level sunnah, because the Prophet always wore on top. So if it is not gunah kabira, it is not haram, it's not gunah kabira, not the major sin, it's a sin. Giving maximum agreement, it is at least a sunnat-e muqadah, which is a very important sunnah. So scholars differ whether it's without pride. With pride, all scholars unanimously agree it is a gunah kabira, it's a major sin. It comes in al-kabair. The difference is, without pride, is it a sin or not? And most of the scholars yet agree it's a sin. Many say it's not a sin. Let's not go into that discussion. But no one will disagree that it is not a sunnat-e muqadah, a very high level sunnah. If you don't agree it's a fard, minimum you have to agree it's a very high level sunnah. And the Prophet always wore on top. There's not a single hadith saying that the Prophet wore the trousers below the ankle. And it's a commandment. It's a commandment of the Prophet. Some of the hadith say that if the trousers below the ankle, that part will burn in hell. Some hadith says with pride. So based on that, there is no out of doubt. And the Sahabas, no other Sahaba besides Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anh was given the permission by the Prophet to keep his trouser below the ankle. And who is Abu Bakr radiallahu anh? Who is he? Who is he? The Prophet said that if you put Iman of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anh on one side and the full Ummah, leaving aside the Ambiyas, leaving aside the messengers, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, his Iman alone will weigh heavier than the full Muslim Ummah, leaving aside the Ambiya. That means the most important person in the history of Islam after the Prophets is Hazrat Abu Bakr. So, but natural, who would say he had pride? He never asked the Prophet, can I keep it down? He used to always put on top. Come not, you put on top. The Prophet gave him special permission. So, narration of the hadith of yours was incorrect. Prophet gave the permission, but not to any other Sahaba that we know of. Not even himself. Hope that answers the question. The third section, the posture. Number 1. It is preferable to stand and talk rather than sitting and speaking. We're doing the posture now. And many times you're asking questions to me in the introduction and I have to talk about the posture. So question answer session sometimes takes you in and out, not allowing me to describe everything in detail of the sitting and sometimes telling you part of it. Posture, it's preferable to stand and talk rather than sitting and speaking. And this we discussed earlier, that standing, the reason is your body language is seen more than sitting. In sitting, your body language is restricted. Even though it's above the table, you can, but it is restricted. When you are standing, it's much better. The full body is there. It's much more confident as compared to sitting. Therefore, I personally prefer that if you give a talk, give while sitting, it's the best, it is more effective. While standing, your legs, it should neither be too close nor too far. Not too close, giving a talk, neither too far. Why? I won't ask question, I'll tell you the answer, otherwise we go into it. Because if your legs are too close, there's something like center of gravity. All these things we learnt in school. There are few people who use their knowledge of school in their daily life. And I love doing that. When you stand too close, your center of gravity is raised high. And it will be unstable. It's difficult for me to, someone comes and gives me a push or fall. That is the reason when you go for martial arts, and I like martial arts, you stretch your leg. Why? For having a better base. And then if you do something, then you can punch. This is stability. But we aren't having a fight here, correct? Nobody is going to come and push you. So neither should you be too far, then your body language is restricted. Neither too close, where you will not actually be able to do. Too close, it is normal. 1.5 to 2 feet gap between both your feet, up to 2.5 depending upon your stature and your height. It should be stable and it should be fixed. Normally, once you stand, you may have to move in certain situations which we'll discuss later on. But normally when you stand, it should be stable so that you have a good firm base, not as strong as you're going for a fight, but firm. Normally, the action that you do, if your base is very close, even you will start shifting like that. If it's like that, there will be no movement. So that is the reason when you stand, it's very important that you stand, keep your legs neither too close, neither too far. When you came on the stage, day for yesterday and yesterday, who has the habit of keeping the legs too close? No one. Okay, 3. Who has the habit of keeping the legs too far? No one, correct. Inshallah, when we see your recording, some of you may not realize what they're doing. We'll see your recording, inshallah. When we see your recording, inshallah, on the last day, you may not realize that what you are doing, many a times you do things which you don't realize. Some people realize that's good. Realizing yourself is very good. The good points and the negative point both. But some people do things and they don't realize. The legs should be neither too far, neither too close. Stand upright and not with drooping shoulders. Some people have the habit of, especially those who are tall, drooping shoulders. You should be firm. Not like that. Normal. Many a time when you see your posture, when you came first time on the stage, how it was. Most majority, when I say majority means, now you tell me one thing, which looks better? You look confident. You don't look confident. Do I look confident? See, my legs are same, everything is same. How is my posture? Everything is. I'm maintaining my terminus also. How is it? The Prophet said that even when you fast, people should not realize that you are hungry or looking very weak. You're not there to show to the people. And a mu'min is more beloved to Allah, who is a strong mu'min, a qawi mu'min. So when you stand, you should stand firmly. Terminus will come later on. And it should not be with drooping shoulders, either one side or... It gives a very casual appearance and it doesn't appear that you're smart. I have not seen a single speaker with drooping shoulders speaking confidently. Unless he is feeble or weak is a different question. And yet he's a strong speaker. Immediately when your body is like that, even your speech is like that. I am so and so and I've been working in so and so. Confident. I'm from Bombay. So your body language speaks a lot. The moment you look at the person, you can judge a person in just a couple of minutes. From the time he starts appearing on the stage, we'll come to it later on.
La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Muhammadun Rasulullah. أرجو رضاك يا الله أنت الرحيم يا الله هبني عطاك يا الله أنت الكريم منك العطاء يا الله أنت العظيم يا الله فيك الرجاء يا الله أنت الحليم الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال